Welcome to Order Militaris Catholicus's video channel. And my name is Brother Alexis Buñuel. I'm a co-founder of the International Religious Association that strives to imitate the charity and the virtue of the crusaders of old who risked their lives for Christians on the other side of the world they had never met and never known. We are inspired by the words of our Lord Jesus Christ, greater love no man hath than to lay down his life for his friends, which is a classical expression for to put yourself at risk while helping others. And for nearly 6 years, our order has been helping the victims of terrorism or the Christian refugees of war. We have helped in Lebanon, and we've helped Syrian refugees. We've helped Iraqis in Mosul. We've helped Armenian veterans. We've helped Poles protect their churches. We've helped persecuted priests. We've helped a mission in southern India and a Catholic parish in Hawaii. And now with the Russian aggression against the Christian people of the Ukraine, we have set up a commandery here in Kyiv to do all that we can do to help persecuted Christians defend themselves and to help them in their needs for housing, clothing, and food. And here I am in front of our banner for our mission in the Ukraine with the colors of the flag, a flag of Ukraine, and the standard of our order, the ensign of our order, which is the Blue Cross. We are run by Catholics who follow in the inspiration of the Republic of Malfi, that's their cross, who built hostels all around the Mediterranean in the 8th and 9th centuries so that Christians in non-Christian lands would have a safe place to stay. And we strive by whatever means we can to participate in the work of the order, helping persecuted Christians around the world. And now more than ever, I ask those who are friends and followers on our social media channels, our past members, those who know of us, to show that you really love Jesus Christ and really want to defend his people by committing yourself to membership in the order or the support of the order's works. We have done a lot of social media work, nearly 6 years. Our main Twitter account, Militaris Cath, we have over 100,000 tweets. So you've probably seen a lot of tweets from us. But now we're actually in a war zone on the ground, and there's lots of needs here. And we can't fulfill them without you, without all the members acting together. I, Brother Alexis, can't do anything. The other co-founder, AJ, is housebound in Western Kansas. He can't do everything. We've made lots of appeals, and we are real. We have proven, AJ and I, that for 5.5 years we've kept the same message, the same purpose, the same ethics, the same transparency, and no one who works with us, who has contributed or invested in the order, has ever issued a complaint. It's now for those of you who are our fans to come forward, because now our order is in need of you so that we can help those who need help and are not getting it. And the human tragedy here in the Ukraine is far beyond anything the media is making out. And if you are intelligent enough and faithful enough to Christ to have resisted all the silly little lies Russian propaganda is throwing around, or that some pretending conservatives who are really Marxists and love Russia are using to excuse themselves from helping others so that they can go to church on Sunday and pretend they're Christian. If you've resisted all that, then you've made it into the field of opportunity of really serving Christ and living the gospel, regardless of the politics of the age or the circumstances of history. And our order is organized so that in any way you can help, you can help. So we don't demand a great commitment from everyone, but if you want to make a great commitment, we have options of ways of doing that. Here, we hope I am organizing a a Ukrainian nonprofit, a charity, a benefit organization, so that we can legally operate in the Ukraine and not violate their immigration laws, because our organization supports the observance of immigration laws. And for that reason, I'm going to make my own residency in the Ukraine so that I can legally run the organization, and because we don't know anyone so well on the ground that we can recruit them off the bat. So we are an international organization, and our volunteers will be coming from around the world to help here. God willing, the first two have already told me they'd like to come in August. So I'm busying myself getting all the paperwork ready for that. But the needs here are far beyond any level of fundraising or investment we have heretofore done. And now we need our fans, that silent cloud of witnesses, to make a commitment. And I won't say get real, as the Americans might say, because you already are strong supporters of our order. But we need to up our level of commitment, because helping Christians in a war zone means that in a certain way, we are on a war level operations. We have to get real. We have to start doing things. I just had some individual, an organization that is in great need, come and visit and have lunch with me yesterday here in the commandery and telling me all their long needs. It must be about $100,000 worth of needs. I wish I could say, yes, we'll get you all that stuff. We'll help you in all those ways, like that. All I can so far say is we're going to try. And so here I am making a video on our official channel asking you to help. So you can help in 1,000 little ways. If all you can help is with an $8.50 pledge a month, then go to our website, ordomilitaris.us, and pledge as a lay member. Maybe you can pledge $25 a month, or $50 a month, or $100 a month as a knight. The 25 is a herald, and the 50 is a squire. Or maybe you could pledge more, $500 a month, as a baron in our order. And that's for those who would like to give monthly pledges. Maybe you can volunteer, helping us raise funds in your parts of the world, or solicit investments. Or maybe you're that top all, end all level of commitment, and you'd like to come here as a volunteer in Kyiv and work as a humanitarian worker. We will provide lodging for free, and we'll cover your medical insurance. And we'll give you the paperwork so you can come to the Ukraine legally. You just have to pay your own personal expenses, like food and things of that sort. And so that makes it very easy. Most humanitarian workers don't get that much support. They have to do everything. And but they're all different ways we help. Investors, we have founded in the United States a private military corporation called Ordo Militaris, Inc., and you can invest in that corporation. They're authorized by the state of Montana to sell stock, and we could use that to found an equivalent organization in the Ukraine, and to get all kinds of permissions to do a lot greater assistance. There are so many. Don't be deceived by thinking that, well, the U.S. government sending over all these billions of dollars. It's not going to the common Ukrainian. It's not going to even the common soldier. It's going to American military-industrial corporations who are going to sell overpriced stuff to the U.S. government, and that will be like some big equipment that comes over here. But does it cover boots? Does it cover anti-ballistic glasses so that when the bullet hits their armor and sprays metal in their face, they don't go blind for life? Does it cover earmuffs so they don't go deaf when they fire that artillery piece? Does it cover summer clothing? Does it cover boots where your feet don't rot from summer rot? No. Does it cover medicine, triage kits? No, it doesn't cover any of those things. So how is the soldier going to survive? Does it cover housing for the displaced Ukrainians? Does it cover their food? Does it cover their clothing? Does it cover any kind of needs they might have? Does it support chaplains in the military? No. Does it pay for the burying of the dead? No. So there are a whole range of things our order can help with here if we have the financial support. And I should say that since we've been around 6 years, and most of the groups that are helping in the Ukraine have just sprung out of nowhere in March, we should consider it a bit shameful that we're taking so long to get organized or raise funds. Okay, so we have raised, and I want to thank the supporters for the $4,677 for our humanitarian fund. But that's like, we raised 15,000 for the explosion in the port of the Beirut. Why don't we haven't done more? So I think part of it is because of the Russian propaganda, and part of it is because everything we've been through in the last 2 years. And people are hurting everywhere, and I understand that. But I appeal for the financial support to those who weren't affected by those things. And here's a rare chance in the history of your lifetime that you can help Christians in a war zone, and your government is going to let you do it. And you have a Catholic organization, the Militaris, that will get the support you send to the people who need it. And this is a very rare opportunity. So some of you I know could invest $100,000 or $50,000 or donate even $10,000. I know benefactors who have contacted us over the years and done some small things. The people who love our flags, they bought all our Lepanto flags, and we still are offering our Lepanto flags, and that's going pretty well. And I think of the first 25 we offered, there's something like 18 have already gone, and so we're having another 50 produced for that. But you're looking at that Lepanto flag on the floor, on the wall, how it represents that Catholics got together and defended Europe against barbarism. And is that all you're going to do? Is admire that, or do you want to be part of a group of Catholic men and women in this age that does a similar work of heroism? Now, if you're a military man and you have seen combat experience, you can volunteer in the Ukraine. But most of us are not. And so there's different ways we can help. Our order would love to organize a training camp in Europe or the United States or in South America so that prospective volunteers to the Ukraine military can get their training. And that's something we could do with investment, okay? And because I hate to have the guys who want to risk their lives have to pay for a course, but that's basically what we have to offer now, that we would charge them to take the course because we have expenses and we don't have the funds. So our order has always given of itself all of its lifeblood to help persecuted Christians. We do not amass wealth. We don't pay salaries. We don't have huge bank accounts. I think the order's entire cash assets are under $5,000, okay, right now. And it's probably a lot lower than that. So it's not like any of us are getting wealthy for this, but if we want to help, we need the means to help. And we can have all the volunteers in the world, but if we don't have any of you out there supporting us financially, like pledging as members, what can we do? So why do we get people to pledge for members? We have trolls on social media that say, how many members you have? Well, we're not going to tell you how many members have, but why do we have members? Because when you pledge as a member in U.S. financial law, that's a subscription to a membership service organization. And in return, we give you a status in our order, an honorary status you can put on your letterhead and stuff. And that is classified in U.S. law as an income of our Corporation of Montana, which we can use for our expenses. Have we made any capital gain in 5 years? No, we've had losses every year. How can that be? Because we give away in charity more than we retain in earnings. And this is an unusual kind of American corporation. And yet we are still able to pay our investors dividends. But our investors say, no, don't pay us dividends. Donate that also to the help of Christians. So there's a lot of people, I think, who are absolutely envious and jealous about our organization, because we're one of the few organizations out there on social media that does lots of social media that's not out for ourselves. We're not supporting our kids at home. We're not buying mansions for ourselves. We're not milking the system. we're not preaching hate. We're preaching love, mercy, and compassion, and we're doing it all for others. So we are not a religious order that it is for the sanctification of our members principally. We're for caring for others, and we call ourselves an order because that's the ideal we aspire to. But we're not an order in a military. We're not a military order like the Knights of Malta. You would have to be erected by a monarch to do that. And we're not. We're a private association of the faithful. We're not one that seeks recognition from the church, because we want to act in a way that is independent of any political ties. We are not tied to any bishop, diocese. We don't have authorization from the Pope. We think it's sufficient that Christ's words, greater love no man has than to lay down his life for his friends, is sufficient authorization to do the works of mercy. And in fact, in Christian teaching, that's all you need to do. And so God, by his providence, inspired the foundation of our association 6 years ago in 2016 on August 1st. And by the help of all of those who have helped us and of all our past members, we've gotten this far, so that we have 3 commanderies open in Europe, and we are now in a war zone. And we're now receiving requests from individuals, military and non-military alike, for help. So I believe God brought us to this place because he wants us to do good. And I ask you to join us in doing that good. So, but pledging as a member is one of the most efficient ways that you can participate in what we do and yet be totally shielded from liability. A lot of people say, well, if I help you, I will be liable if something goes wrong in a war zone. No, you will not be liable, because your membership in our membership organization, Montana, has no repercussions on that. And in donating, what we do is donate and give grants. We are totally immune from liability in U.S. law for doing the good things we do. If we set up a charity in the Ukraine and that charity receives your donations, you are also immune, no matter how the charity funds this or that. Because I know there are companies that don't want you to support Ukraine. They don't want you to support any group that has guns. Our Montana Corporation has no guns. I don't have any guns. Though there are members of our organization that privately, personally have guns, our corporation doesn't have guns. And so there's a lot of Marxist organizations that don't like Christians even promoting the bearing of arms, and I understand that too. But we're organized in a way to avoid all that problem. So you can invest with us, you can become a member with us, you can donate to our sequestered fundraisers that we give to exclusively to charity, in a way that insulates you from any risk, if that's what you want to be, you want to help without that. There's others of us that are going to risk life and death and dismemberment, poverty and penury, and if you take a public role in the order like myself, you're not only risking, but you're experiencing calumny and defamation 24/7, simply for doing the right thing. Because there are a lot of evil people in the world. They even go to take communion on Sunday, and then they go out and lash out at Catholics doing good works. Because somehow they think that, the morality of one person in the Ukraine means the immorality of all the people in the Ukraine, and anyone helping Ukraine is just as immoral as them. They're just completely whacked out individuals. Now, I know most of you are constantly hearing in the news every day about the Ukrainian war, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. It's really happening. And at FromRome.info actually even recently published a link where you can see the destroyed areas north of Kyiv in 3D for those of you who don't believe anything unless it's on a television screen, and that's not the same part of you, okay? So I know you're zealous. I know you deeply believe in Jesus Christ. I know you love him very much. I know a lot of you are limited in what you can do. So, I offer you the simplest thing, pledge $8.50 a month, or get one of our Lepanto flags, or get a copy of AJ's book for kids, Soldiers of the Cross. Again, is only $10. Or you could buy a Lepanto bumper sticker for $10, very small amounts. But those of you who can give more, what are you going to do? You're going to take it all to the grave? And how are you going to explain that to Jesus Christ? Better to go to heaven rich in merits and have less for your the trustee of your state to worry about. And so I make that appeal, and I make appeal especially to those who can because this is what we need. So if you can invest 100,000 or 50,000, if you could donate 10 or 25,000, please consider doing that. And if you can't do it, don't think I'm asking you to do it. I'm not insisting on that. For all our investors and donors, we are perfectly transparent. We had someone who wanted to donate a military pack to a volunteer to the Foreign Legion, and they donated 2,500 for that, because that's what we asked for it. And within, I think, 24 hours, they contacted me and said, "Brother, I'm doing my taxes. I can't make that donation. Can you give me a refund?" We gave them a refund within 12 hours. And so no one who has given or invested anything with our corporation, Montana, has ever been denied a refund under any circumstance. So we have a brilliant white reputation, and it's only the jealous people know nothing about us who thinks that we're doing evil or want to imply that we're doing evil, maybe because they're the ones doing the evil. So I encourage you to think about this seriously. Just watch some of the absolute horror and destruction what's going on in the Ukraine, the complete destruction of cities, and realize it's the individuals, it's the individual Christians who are getting the suffering. This isn't about governments, it's about individual Christians. And the billions of dollars being sent from countries around the world isn't getting to the people. It's organizations like our own who are going to actually help individuals and help save individuals' lives. And we are a small organization, so we deal with the details of suffering, which is we're the only organizations like ours deal with that. The big politicians and money funding, they don't fund the relief of suffering. Okay, so there's lots of needs here. We have a commandery. People are asking us already, because we're from the United States, and they think all Americans are wealthy. Well, not all of us are, but some of us are. And I know some of them are Catholics and Christians who want to stop Christian persecution that know about our organization. So now is the time to, put rubber to the road. And we've done what we can in our organization to get this far. We have a foothold in the Ukraine. And we'll be one of the only American organizations who's actually setting up a registered Ukrainian charity. And how many heads of American humanitarian organizations are actually going to become resident in the Ukraine in a war zone and risk their life so that we can do work? So, I think our organization is showing that we mean what we say and we're true to our ideals. But, after so many campaigns of calumny and slander from envious people or people who just hate Christians, because we get death threats from we get death threats from Russians now. It used to be we only got death threats from Turks and ISIS members, and people who just can't handle their own hypocrisy. They lash out at us because we're honest and sincere. It's really sad. But now's the time to show your commitment, because you don't get to heaven by wanting to get to heaven. You get to heaven by making a commitment to serve Jesus Christ and his people. And he makes quite clear on the last day of judgment, he's not going to ask who has a degree in theology. He's going to ask, did you feed the hungry? Did you clothe the naked? Did you shelter the homeless? God bless. Ave Maria. And Deus Vult.